So we completed all the iterations for this project. And after we completed it with the user click, I thought of this idea, and we already done with what we planned. But the iteration, as you get more involved with the project, you think of different ideas. So I thought, why don't we try to, instead of using a button, use the swipe gesture instead of the button. Or in this case, in addition, really, I'm not gonna remove the button. So I'll add this as iteration 7. And again, the problem formulation, the solution formulation, and solution implementation. The scope here is simple. Use swipe gesture to browse the quotes by swiping to the right, from the right. And testing, what are we going to do to test? Open the app, swipe from the right, and observe the quote changes. This does not represent any change to the model, so no change in the model. It doesn't represent a change to the view because nothing is added. Actually, there isn't, it's added. We need to connect the swipe gesture to the view. And then the controller, that's where the steps similar to what we did in iteration 6 in the controller will happen. So what is the event? Will be the right swipe. And what would this event trigger? The action. And we need to connect to a function to recognize the right swipe from left, up, and down, and call the display code. So the solution implementation, step 1, add a swipe gesture to the screen. Step 2, connect the gesture to the controller. And step 3, add instructions to call the display code. So let's see how this will work. So maybe I can leave this as is and bring the utility area. And in the object library, that's where all your user interface components are. All the interface. So I want to look. There's so many here. So I can just type swipe, and here is the swipe gesture recognizer, and this is and I can add the swipe gesture recognizer to the view so that you can swipe on the view, and it adds here the swipe gesture recognizer like we did with the button. Click on the swipe gesture, control and drag to our screen, and we connect an action, and the type is important. What is the type? Any is generic type, but I'm actually connecting. I want my function to receive a swipe gesture recognizer, and then we give it a name. So the first one, user clicked, we call this user swiped, and then connect. So now the function here is added automatically as an action similar to the other one, the name of the function. This function has a parameter, and that parameter has the name sender. What that means is there is some data at the event that the operating system needed to send to the function. So the operating system creates a memory location to put that data in and send the name of that location to the function. The function receives it in this parameter named sender with the type UI swipe gesture recognizer. So if I want the function to work with any gesture recognizer, I can just type the work here. So I can just say display code. So any swipe will trigger that display code. So let's try. If you want to limit it, you have to ask the swipe gesture recognizer to tell you which direction it had, and then compare that to either the right direction, the left, the up, or the down, and then decide what you want it to do. Hopefully we'll let it work with any swipe, so we don't have to address comparison now, and we'll address the comparison later on. So here is a right swipe. So here is swipes. I'm swiping and it's giving me the change. You see, I'm not clicking the button, I'm just swiping. So you can also click the button, or you can do the swipe gesture recognize. There's also, instead of the swipe, there's a tap gesture recognizer that happens when you click. So if I click on those, so I set up the swipe on the view. So when you swipe on the view, it is changing the code. So that's kind of something in addition if you want to explore that further, and that completes module number 1.